Hey guys, I'm about to share with you how I bought 50 houses in 52 weeks at 22 years old. And I'm gonna break it down to where anyone can do it. Now, in this short video, obviously I'm not gonna be able to give you a 3-day seminar, step by step, and I want to inspire you to either level up your real estate investing business or to get started on your real estate investing business. At 21, I was broke and in medical debt, over $80,000 of debt from a hospital stay. Didn't know what I was gonna do, or frankly, what I wanted to be when I grew up. And when I found real estate investing, it seemed overwhelming to me at first because I thought you needed to go to the bank and get loans and have good credit and write big checks, and I didn't have the ability to do none of that. In fact, I started Googling how to buy rental houses, and I quickly was disappointed to realize that I had to work and save up money and build my credit for many years before I could ever even think about attaining a deal. And then I was sitting in a vehicle one day listening to talk radio, and I heard a radio ad that stated I could buy houses with no money or credit. And I thought, yeah, sounds too good to be true. I've done my due diligence on Google. I need credit and money. And so I thought, what could it hurt? They said I could call and get a free book and CD, and so I picked up the phone and did just that. A few days later, found myself in a seminar and realized that there is a whole world of real estate out there I had no clue about. That I can buy houses with creative financing and resell them and do all sorts of cool structuring that helps the sellers win and get what they need and helps me gain assets to build my wealth and helps my tenants end up becoming homeowners and put them on the path to homeownership. And all of these great things can happen just by becoming what I now call a CTG, a creative transaction genius. The light bulb came on and I realized what was possible. I immediately went to work. First thing I did, got myself, as I mentioned, in that event where I learned exactly what it is that I needed to do. Next thing I did, I picked out 3 marketing methods that I was going to use to find sellers. For me at the time, at the beginning, I was broke, so everything free was what was appetizing to me, of course. So the first thing I did is I started putting out those bandit signs. I couldn't afford 100 of them, so I went down to the local hardware store and bought a handful of them. I think it was 3, and I hand wrote them with a marker, "I buy houses cash," and put them up everywhere I could, those 3 that I had, and wound up getting a call off of one of them. That's actually how I got my first wholesale deal that made me $3,000. The other thing, 2 things I did, I picked out my 3 main marketing methods. The second thing I did was I started posting online. At the time, it was Craigslist. And I started posting on Craigslist and I buy houses. A few months later, bought a house from there. The third thing I did was I started outbound calling to for sale by owners. I would see yard signs and I would call them. I would see houses for sale on Zillow and I would call them. Of course, now that converts to Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups too. At the time, it was Zillow and for sale by owner yard sign. So after getting the proper knowledge, I determined the 3 strategies I wanted to use to get deals. Now, after that, I just started dialing like crazy. I'd call back every seller who called me wanting to sell a house, and of course, every seller I could get on the phone just about. And I sucked on the phone at first, horribly I might add. Said the wrong things and screwed up the deals and lost deals. And finally, through all of that, still got a wholesale deal that I made $3,000 on, and before long, bought a house by taking over the debt, what's called Subject 2, as many of you may know. So it just simply means I bought the house and I started making the payments on the behalf of the seller, and that's how I bought my first, what I call terms deal. So I buy the house, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this works. And so I continued doing this. If it works, I'm going to do more of it. So I started dialing like crazy, and by the time I was 22, I bought 50 houses in 52 weeks at 22 years old by dialing and dialing and dialing. After I would dial, I would then, of course, as soon as possible, at the time, get in the car, drive out to the house, and get the purchase agreement signed. Of course, now I've learned I don't need to get in the car and drive across town or wherever I'm going to get the agreement signed. I can just send it through the email and have them to sign it and send it back to me, and it works just as good, quite frankly better. So at the time, I would get in the car, I would drive out there, would see the property, and get the contract okayed. Now I've got a legal agreement to be able to purchase the house, which gives me a right to put it out to my buyers. So after agreeing to purchase the house, I would move forward to closing. In the meantime, I would put it out to my buyers. Of course, if it's a wholesale deal, then you flip it for a different profit, a higher price than you getting it for. Most commonly, though, I started holding properties. So after I would buy the house, I would find someone who wanted to give me a non-refundable option deposit, I call it, and move into the house. Their objective is to buy the house one day, so they would do a lease with the option to purchase. They put down a deposit that goes toward the down payment of the home when they buy it. They pay me a monthly rental payment, and started building my cash flow that way. Of course, way better than rentals, because now I don't have the normal headaches of a tenant. These people actually want to buy the house eventually. They put money down to move in, and they're paying a good monthly payment. Everybody wins, and they're on the path to home ownership. So that's how I built my portfolio in a massive way in a short amount of time at 22 years old. Now, after doing that, of course, I quickly realized that it's a whole lot better to work one time and get paid many times over the years as monthly residual income than it is to just flip a deal and make a check one time. I mean, just makes sense. Would you rather work for one check, or would you rather work the same amount for dozens of checks over coming months or years? For me, of course, that's hold the property, do the lease option, and put people on the path to home ownership. Everybody wins. The seller gets what they need, I get what I need, profit, and the buyer gets what they need, the path to home ownership. Everybody wins, which is why I love real estate. Those are the creative things I begin to put together at 22 years old that changed my world and can change yours too. I'll see you on the next video. I know you loved today's video. Hit the like button and the subscribe button to not only help with the algorithms, more importantly, to keep up to date on all the real estate investing tips and tricks and mindset stuff I share with you. Also follow me on social media for up-to-date stuff that's going on in my world that I want to invite you to.